The Tomorrow War stars Chris Pratt as Dan, a family man who's drafted to fight in a future war where the fate of humanity relies on his ability to confront the past. This is written by Zach Dean and it's directed by Chris McKay, who also directed the Lego Batman movie, as well as several episodes of Adult Swim shows like Robot Chicken and Moral Oral. And because I loved all three of these things, I was looking forward to this to a degree, as I was interested in seeing how well McKay's jump to live action would be. While I did include this on my most anticipated movies of the month video, the only thing I was hesitant on was that, despite the involvement of McKay and a solid cast, it did look like your generic run-of-the-mill sci-fi action movie. And in some ways, it was kinda what I expected it to be, but in other ways, it did surprise me. What I will say is, there's a little more to this concept than the trailers let on, and the film does jump around to a few different settings that I wasn't totally expecting, though I'll refrain from getting into all that due to spoilers. But because of where it headed, there actually was a nice message at the heart of it, with some social commentary that's brilliantly infused in this sci-fi setting, never really coming off as heavy-handed or on the nose, and for that, I appreciated it. On top of that, it was a pretty fun action movie, though I do wish that this film didn't get sold to Amazon Prime. While there are a fair share of movies that I'm totally fine with seeing at home rather than on the big screen, this wasn't one of them. The effects were pretty slick for the most part, with the CGI for the aliens our characters fight looking pretty solid, and I thought all the battle scenes were composed well, sometimes being pretty grand in scale, and it felt like something that really was made for the big screen, so it was a shame that it was robbed of that experience. Also, the cast all do a fine job. Chris Pratt, as always, is a very likable protagonist, and in a rare move, this is an instance where he doesn't do his usual shtick of making all these quips every 2 seconds, and he actually plays the role pretty straightforward, which is a nice change of pace as he does have an arc centered around his relationships with his family that do drive the story forward. And he hit all the right emotional beats, showing us he's more than capable of handling weightier material. Of the supporting cast, Yvonne Strahovski was a nice standout with her own emotional arc that gave us some of the film's more compelling moments, which I was happy to see, as I've been a big fan of hers from the days of Chuck and Dexter, and I do hope to see her on the big screen more often. You also had the likes of J.K. Simmons, Edwin Hodge, and Betty Gilpin in the supporting cast, all of whom were solid, though the other major standout was Sam Richardson as a fellow soldier who provides much of the comedic relief and caught a lot of the tension. All that being said, while I liked the movie overall, I didn't necessarily love it, and it still felt like each of its elements, while intriguing on their own, felt a tad stitched together. Even at 2 hours and 18 minutes, I felt like we needed to spend just a bit more time in each of its settings, as it's one of those films that has this fascinating world to explore, and it seems like we only scratched the surface. Now, I was invested mainly because of the cast and the character arcs, but I felt it was only up to a certain point. Because we were only in this world for so long, I felt like my level of investment only went so far as I wanted to know more. It's the sort of story that I think would have been fantastic as a miniseries, even if it was just like a 3-part miniseries. That way, it would have given us a little more time in each of these settings, both past and present, and the stakes would hit us even more on an emotional level. Now, as a movie, it's still not bad overall, and despite my issues with it, I do think that there's plenty to appreciate between its cast, its message, and its action. And if you have Amazon Prime, it's at least worth a one-time watch. The Tomorrow War gets a 6.5 out of 10. So, let me know, did you see The Tomorrow War, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Was this better than you expected? Do you have a favorite Chris Pratt movie? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.